Welcome back, everybody, to the Irish Furian. I am the Irish Furian. So here we are, 12 o'clock, noon, midday, and we're just taking it easy. Let's start off just waiting for a few people to show up in the room. Yeah. So I was thinking, like because of the books there yesterday, um, I was thinking maybe I could review or just talk about some of the books that I have in passing. Um, Hang on a second. Okay. So, so yeah, again, today is overcast in Cork, but there's the bright sun is shining through in places, which is quite nice. If you can hear the sound of construction in the background, it's because there is a construction site straight across the road, uh, and I hope that it isn't showing up in the audio. I did try to. I think what's happening too is that my lapel mic, little lapel mic, which works fine with the app that I record my videos through when I'm doing phone videos, uh, videos on topics, specific topics. Um, the This mic and that little adapter actually um, works fine, but I did try to go into the audio settings on this on StreamYard here, and I found that I tried changing it, even though I changed it to say headset and all that. It's not actually coming through this. So I tapped it, I was tapping it and scratching it from a distance, and I could see the volume levels weren't actually moving. I was clicking my nails like hidden behind my hand, so that if it was actually the phone mic that was picking it up, uh, it shouldn't have picked it up from further back. So I was trying to do through this. The Dan, this is the first time I've seen you here. So this is all this image needs is a cat and a Tweety pie. Okay, I don't understand that, but I'll take your word for it. A cat and a Tweety pie. That's cat and the Tweety pie. That's the cartoon, isn't it? The Tweety bird. I remember that. I thought putty cat. Oh, those sorry there now. I need to get your, let me see here. So your message can be seen better. There you go. All right. So I'm still learning about this streaming software, this online streaming software, how to use it. It's fine for minimizing my name. I don't like my name being, well, I say I don't like it, but I think um, it's more minimal, which is actually what it's called in the software. More minimal, in a manner of a granny. Right, Dan, you are on borrowed time, mate. You are on borrowed time. You don't come onto my channel and start insulting me like that. One more. All you need is one more. You want to leave? Now's your chance. I'm not tolerant. I don't I don't misuse the word tolerance. So I think he's gone, thankfully. Um, we'll see now where this goes from here. So anyway, the book that I was thinking of reviewing is, well, not reviewing, just talking about, is the Hagakure. The Hagakure, the Book of the Samurai. Yamamoto Tsunetomo. Translated by William Scott Wilson. And I bought this a long time ago. A classic of Japanese thought. Poetic, robust, a feast of amor. Let me see if I get this right now. Aphorisms, and martial anecdotes. New York Review of Books. Hagakure became a kind of magical discovery for me, and hidden under his sleeves were some important gifts. Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch, I think, was the director for the movie Dead Man. Let me see here. The most influential of all samurai treatises ever written, Ivan Morris. That sounds familiar. A guidebook and inspiration for any modern student of martial arts or anyone interested in achieving a courageous and transcendent understanding of life. East West Journal. A fascinating glimpse into another place and time. Library Journal. That's actually how I saw it. When I finished reading this book, I really did feel like it was like time traveling and seeing a completely different world. You know, we think that the time we live in, the society we live in right now is, you know, it's because, you know, we really see it as the only one. And we really, of course, unless you go traveling, if you go traveling to another country, you you experience other cultures, and then you see that yours isn't the only one. But also, what can be added to that is the fact that not only is it the only one in this timeline, but you know, in times past, uh, there were also different cultures along the different times, and this book really gives you an insight into those previous times in Japan. You know, and it is like a time travel. Yamamoto brought together three temperaments: loyalty to his master, a literary sensitivity, and the enlightenment of Zen. And that's by some outlet called Choice. So I'll just wait a little while longer. It's 6:45. There's two in the room. Martin Murphy. Greetings, Martin. How you doing? How's it going? Good morning to you, sir. So yeah, I was just saying there that I'm thinking of just reviewing a few of the books that are in my possession. One of them, the one I have here, is the Hagakure, which is the Book of the Samurai. I have this years. What I'll do is I'll just read out a few of the not a chapter or anything like that, but you know, you see there, they call stanzas, you know, where you have individual groupings like that, you know. And I'm thinking that it'd be pretty cool to actually read out a few of these. And so this book is by a Japanese samurai called Yamamoto Tsunetomo, translated by William Scott Wilson. And so I'll read out a few of these and just see what you think. So the word gen or gen, not sure how it's pronounced here, means illusion or apparition. In India, a man who uses conjury is called a genjutsushi, a master of illusion technique. Everything in this world is but a marionette show. Thus, we use the word gen, gen or gen, Gen. Okay, so very apt for the particular times we have, I think. What else have we got here? Let's see. How long is that one? So the priest Tannen used to say, people come to no understanding because priests teach only the doctrine of no mind. What is called no mind is a mind that is pure and lacks complication. This is interesting. Lord Sananore said, in the midst of a single breath where perversity cannot be held is the way. If so, then the way is one. But there is no one who can understand this clarity at first. Purity is something that cannot be attained except by piling effort upon effort. All right, so there's two excerpts. And if we go on to, let's see. So further down in the book, it says, this is on page 45, it says, Lord Naoshige said, the way of the samurai is in desperateness. 10 men or more cannot kill such a man. Common sense will not accomplish great things, simply become insane and desperate. In the way of the samurai, if one uses discrimination, he will fall behind. One needs neither loyalty nor devotion, but simply to become desperate in the way. Loyalty and devotion are of themselves within desperation. So you keep in mind, like, this was all written during a certain time and by a certain type of person, a person who was trained in military ways of their time, and these are all reflections of that. So I heard something similar to this, and basically what he's saying there is that it says 10 men or more cannot kill such a man. So say if you take, we'll say, I've heard that a tea master is as dangerous as any man if frightened and desperate. So if he wields a sword and a samurai comes upon him and the tea master is frightened and desperate, he's as dangerous as any man because he can swing the sword at any moment, unpredictably, and so on. You see? So I believe that's a reflection of that he's saying the way of the samurai is in desperateness. And that was said by a lord called Naoshige. All right. So yes. When there's a choice of either living or dying, as long as there remains nothing behind to blemish one's reputation, it is better to live, is a paradox. He also said, when there is a choice of either going or not going, it is better not to go. A corollary to this would be, when there is a choice of either eating or not eating, it is better not to eat. When there is a choice of either dying or not dying, it is better to die. And that's a saying by Shide Kichinosuke. So I'm not really sure what, when there is a choice of either going or not going, it's better not to go. Okay, and as long as there remains nothing behind to blemish one's reputation, it is better to live. It is a paradox. When there's a choice of either going or not going, it's better not to go. A corollary to this would be, good afternoon, Colin. How you doing? A corollary to this would be, when there is a choice of either eating or not eating, it is better not to eat. When there's a choice of either dying or not dying, it is better to die. But I don't. Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this because the first two examples, it is not to, and then when it gets to the choice of dying, it breaks the I can't think of words. It breaks the set. It breaks the understanding that is being laid down, and then it contradicts the previous two. So I'll say it one more time, okay? The saying of Shide Kichinosuke, when there is a choice of either living or dying, as long as there remains nothing behind to blemish one's reputation, it is better to live, is a paradox. Maybe that's the key. He also said, when there is a choice of either going or not going, it is better not to go. A corollary to this would be, when there's a choice of either eating or not eating, it is better not to eat. And then the final sentence is, when there is a choice of either dying or not dying, it is better to die. Now, I suppose this is coming from the point of view and perspective of a samurai or a ronin, a person again trained in martial military ways, yeah. So, Martin, to be or not to be, that is the question. Yeah, Martin, to be or not to be. You succinctly put it together in one statement. Fantastic. After I took up the attitude of a retainer, I never sat sloppily, whether at home or in some other place. Neither did I speak, but if there was something that could not be done properly without words, I made an effort to settle things by putting 10 words into one. Yamazaki Kurando was like this. So these are all statements. These are all memories of this man at his time. And he is kind of, if you keep in mind, like, these were societies whereby reputation was paramount, and virtue was paramount, through your status. So this guy was samurai. He was a samurai and a retainer, and everybody's the worth of their career, the worth of their lives was based on their behavior and the words which back those behaviors. Unlike now, whereby words are cheap and words, well, it's still the same, but it's more you can get away with. There is less accountability in our society. You know, in this society, everything was based upon one's word. If you think about it, there were no mobile phones, there were no TVs, there were um, no cars, all of modern technology. So, in order to survive, to depend upon the people around you, you, your word was very important that you stuck to your word. And time does fly. Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Uh, I'm very aware of that myself. So, does anybody in the chat want to throw up anything that they'd like to talk about? I'll keep nattering away here about this stuff. So, when one's own attitude of courage is fixed in his heart, and when his resolution is devoid of doubt, then when the time comes, he will of necessity be able to choose the right move. This will be manifested by one's conduct and speech according to the occasion. One's word, oh, look at this. Look, as I say it, look, one's word is especially important. It is not for exposing the depths of one's heart. This is something that people will know by one's everyday affairs. There you go. And that is an expression of their culture in their time. But the books like this are just fantastic. They give you an insight into a world and a time which is now past. But because they were human beings, there are many aspects and facets of their societies and cultures which we still have and we have still in our time. Where are we? 17. Okay. So I'll give it another 10, 15 minutes and we'll see who else pops in the room. We've had a few nongs come in and disappear. If you look back at the chat, I won't delete them. But what a thing to do. What a thing to come in and insult a person like that, I mean, what kind of life is that? Look, like, what kind of guy is that? Who is that? What kind of man comes into another man's space and um, anonymously insults him like that? It's a reflection of this man's life, not ours. This is it's not a way to conduct yourself in life. So it is said even after one's head has been cut off, he can still perform some function. Let me just get that one up there again. It is said that even after one's head has been cut off, he can still perform some function. This fact can be known from the examples of Nitta, Yoshisada, and Onodoken, and Dan. They're Dan. How shall one man be inferior to another? Mitani Yoku said, even if a man be sick to death, he can bear up for 2 or 3 days. Yeah, stoic stuff, How are you all getting on anyway? You doing okay? I'm just saying at home. Saves an evil. Don't mind that, but yeah, I mean, yeah, well, it's it doesn't even it's not even that, Martin. It's like that you come into another man's space, another man's here it's a platform. It's an online platform. And even if I was dressed, if it doesn't matter if I was in a suit and tie, if I was in a t-shirt, if I was in some kind of worker overalls, it's still, you don't say things like that. That's insulting, and it's a reflection of this man's mind and his own life and his own way of being in the world, you know. Hmm. Let's see here now. So we're reading from this. I'll move on a little bit further because I don't want to all read from around the same place. This is let me see what chapter. This is from the second chapter, and it's actually called From the Second Chapter. Have you ever seen a book where instead of saying the chapter two, it says from the second chapter? So I'll take one or two more from this, and it says, "It is said that one will not be able to do great works if he does not behave with some reserve towards his master, the chief retainers, and the elders. What is done casually and freely will not work out well. It is a matter of attitude." Oh, the synchronicity here is incredible today, isn't it? Let's see, I'll read that one more time. Right. It is said that one will not be able to do great works if he does not behave with some reserves towards his master, the chief retainers, and elders. What is done casually and freely will not work out well. It is a matter of attitude. Um, okay, people who talk on and on about matters, this is probably me, of little importance, probably have some complaint in the back of their mind. But in order to be ambiguous, to hide this, they repeat what they are saying over and over. To hear something like this causes doubt to arise in one's breast. Well, yes, of course. You can tell from people's speech patterns what's going on, can't you? You can tell from their pauses, from their cadence, from their repetition or lack of, from their silence, from the where they pause, that they have an issue with something. You know. Um, hmm. Okay, so now he's talking about an actual um, he's talking about an actual military event here, a siege on a castle. So, and this is page 117, and it is from the eighth chapter. Every chapter is actually named like this. I'll read your comment in a minute, Colin. Hang on there. This is 117, and it says, on the first day of the attack on Hara Castle, Turuta Yashichibe, 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 got it. Yashichibe went as messenger from Lord Mim Asaka to Oki Hyobu. But as he was delivering the message, he was shot through the pelvic region by a bullet fired from the castle and instantly fell on his face. He got up again and delivered the rest of the message, was felled a second time and died. Yashichibe's body was carried back by Taira Chiyoe. When Chiyoe was returning to Hyobu's camp, he too was struck by a rifle ball and died. Hang on a second. Time flies. Time flies. Little child, old man, staring at the skies, hungry eyes, a soft heart, we are cold. At night, we will be alone one day. A small seed, a drop of rain flooded the city, we are all. Okay, that deserves to be read again. Time flies. Time flies, little child, old man, staring at the skies, hungry eyes, a soft heart. We are cold at night, we will be alone one day. A small seed, a drop of rain flooded the city, we are all. I like that, Colin. That's pretty good. That is quite nice. Drowning in our pity and self-praise. And Colin says he was 15 when he wrote that. Very nice, Colin. Good stuff. And anybody else that has any poetry or verses that they'd like to link in here, just let me know. And if it is acceptable by YouTube, we'll stick it up there. Obviously, if there's any kind of obscenities in it or anything like that, I can't put it up. So right, we're at 25 minutes in. I might end it at about past. We got 4 watching at the moment. 4 stalwarts, 4 stoics, 4 retainers, 4 Ronin. Indeed. Martin agrees. Martin says it's a nice poem. It is. So so yeah. I cut into the knife yesterday. I started work on that bushcraft knife. Cripes had put up an awful lot of fine metal powder filings into the air, a lot more with that particular steel than I had anticipated. But so I have the tang formed and I have the actual blade formed. I suppose it might be acceptable to show it on YouTube, but I'll wait till I have a bit more done to it. I might do a little more to it after I finish this stream. It's going to be a long knife, and I'd like to do it right. I don't have a belt sander. That's the one thing. I don't have a belt sander to actually get a fine bevel on it. And I think I'm going to need some help with the drilling of the 2 holes into the tang to actually put the screws through, or the rivets. I do have an 18-volt mobile drill, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually grind. When you drill through metal, you don't drill. You shear. So basically, you pull little squeezes on the trigger of the drill, and you wet the metal with WD-40 with oil, preferably, and it shears. When it starts up at different speeds, and it reaches a peak speed, and then it slows down to a slow speed and stops, and it shears the metal. And so I'm not sure if my 18-volt drill will do that. I've gone through aluminium before with it. I've gone through flat bar steel, but I don't know if it'll go through knife steel. So we'll see. Not at all, Colin. But that poem was given to Brendan Kennelly. Humanities teacher sent it to be examined. Wow. Fair going, man. I bet you were proud of that when that happened. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a good memory to have. That's a good that's a good impetus. It's a good indicator to have from your community, your wider community, that you got that kind of feedback, which is good. Okay. So we're at 28:37. I'm probably going to bail here now. So thanks for the people who did stick by. The book that I've been reading through and reviewing today was the Hagakure. And it is the book of the samurai. A very interesting book, and it's a window into another time and another place, a different culture at a different time, and well worth a read. It was a more brutal time, for sure. It was a more brutal time, completely masculine, and nothing was good. Nothing would sway that culture because of that. Even today, Japan is not open to being flooded by mass immigration. Now, they do have American bases there, so the NWO, whatever you want to call it, the liberal New World Progressive Order, wants, if it wanted to, I don't know how they would go about usurping that society, or even trying, or if they want to. But maybe the people, the culture themselves, are just so solid on who they are, and their history and their identity, that they can't be moved. So, and it may be because of a history like that, or it may be because they just don't, the global elites, the world banking system just doesn't see them as a target right now, like Ireland is, or has been. So, anywho, let's see. Yep, you're getting great praise here, Colin. You're getting great praise here for that. And I thought it was very apt. I thought it was very in synchronous with the book that I was reading, because the way it was, stanza, if I'm saying it right, um, seemed to be like a, what did he call it? And I know it's not technically a haiku, a Japanese haiku, but it has that simplicity and and I can't think of words. That simplicity and economy of expression, economy of wording, which gets the imagery across, and but does so nonetheless. So quite good. My cross dressing with these people. Yeah, exactly. They thought odd because of my age. Okay, well, you have an insight into your own self there then, and you should work with that understanding. It's good to see we have good quality people in the chat. Um, so again, if you want me to do more on this book tomorrow morning, I can, or I can take one of the other books that I have, and we can do a little bit with that. Like, loads of time. There's no pressure, no rush, but that's up to you. If you want to leave a messages in the chat, or if you want to leave some messages in the comment section when the video is finally uploaded to YouTube, you can let me know your thoughts on that, and your input is greatly appreciated. So, talk again tomorrow morning. See you guys. Take care.